Alright, welcome back to another week of DSC Overwatch. Today we're back maintaining our pretty good record of 5-1. We're going to be playing St. Louis Community College, and we've had a little bit of a change in our normal roster. One of our players is having some personal things going on, but my co-cast, as you can see, his seat is empty, and that was because he's actually going to be playing in place for Admiral today. So we have Marcy on the roster. Luckily, he is on the roster as an official sub, so that saved us a little last minute sweat. Phew. Thank you, Marcy. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in with the team because we are so used to being here in the seat, watching, but watching is always so much different than actually doing it. So I'll be watching him with a watchful eye because I'm feeling lonely here at the casting station today. No Marcy co-cast, but it's okay. I feel like it's gonna be an exciting game today because DSC is 5-1. So maintaining that record, we're gonna see if they're able to do that with this game, and see how the season is going to continue. I think we've seen some great plays from Kuna. He's definitely been one of our strongest players. Nostalgia as well. It's great to see them on their little flanky flanks and see what they've been doing, but it has been very interesting to see all the creative plays. I'm not super familiar with the St. Louis Community College team, but every team is a new challenge. Every team plays different, so it's always interesting. I never know what to expect going into these things, but I'm anticipating a good game. Everyone's warmed up, and despite the little bit of a fluster there, we got it all worked out, and now we're ready to start. We're ready to play. We got someone in, and I feel like that's a really important part of any sport in general is the adaptability and being able to sub someone in, because there's always going to be times like that. No one is ever 100% available, so it's nice that we were able to find someone. We're lucky. We didn't have to forfeit, didn't have to move the match back. Yay! After some push and pull on that. But it looks like right now they're just deciding what maps they're going to play and also just kind of discussing who is doing what. So just deciding what team is going to play, who's casting, that kind of thing. But after watching the last couple of games, it's been pretty clear the play style that Daytona State has mastered and what is more challenging to them versus not. But even through all the challenges and everything like that and the less ideal play styles, they still have been able to keep their title kind of going and stay at 5-1 with just one team, Bryant and Stratton, beating us. So we will see. But I'm anticipating a good game. And of course, Overwatch is rolling into the holiday season, so that means all the little snowy maps and everything, which personally I think is the best time for Overwatch. Like, I love Christmas or winter, excuse me, on Kings Row. Nothing is better than winter on Kings Row. It's almost as good as Christmas itself. So, anyway, ready for the game. But yeah, good luck, have fun, everyone. It's that time. It looks like we're going to be going into Samoa first. A little coffee moment here. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like Koth is personally my least favorite game mode, but it's a really good show of skill because it can really go either way. You can get one team, it's 99-0, and then you can just completely turn it back around. So that can definitely happen on any game mode, but I feel like Koth especially is where you really see that like last minute shenanigans.
I've still got it. I'll never forgive us for
All
what we
right,
did in Hanamura.
so
Those people were criminals.
we got St. Louis going in with the City going on, and we've got Daytona State starting off with Malga, keeping it tried and true to the Samoa map. Good for them.
Initiating combat. I will keep us safe.
And St. Louis might have a little bit of an easier time here because they have that movement ability from Juno. We're going to go right here off to the side and start pushing this fight. Kuna is going to start pushing up for that entry pick. We got wall, huge wall from May on the... And Alyssa's getting low. Ooh, this is an intense fight. Who's going to die first? Everyone's just playing for that pick. That May wall is really going to be a clutch here. May is really doing what it needs to. And Malga is kind of ducking off to the side. We've got a little bit... Ooh, we got first pick on Venture here, but Daytona State gives it in return to their Kiriko. They're living right now, but being down in support is definitely going to be a lot more challenging than being down 8 DPS. Okay, Marissa is getting really, really aggressive here on the Malga, but the Marissa gets picked first. Kuna finishing off that kill. And Marcy's going to try to land an amazing blow on the Ana here. Got a little 1v1 action going on over here on the side. Nostalgia is able to finish up that soldier. But still, St. Louis has the point cap first. We got Malga going in and then get killed. Kuna as well getting a kill. Looks like Daytona State is almost up there, but we have an amazing Marissa ult coming out. Everybody is ulting, and through this, Daytona State is going to be able to cap the point. It looks like Daytona State did have to use some ults there, but ults were used on both sides, honestly. And St. Louis did use a few more. Ooh, and Kuna's able to get a nice little two-piece there going on to really hold down the point for a little bit longer and keep that team pushed back. Daytona State does need to catch up a little bit as they're only at that 20%. So they are going to apply pressure where they can maybe play a little bit more aggressive, playing this corner rather than waiting for St. Louis to come up. Malga is walled and he's able to get out, but is that damage going to be too much for him? Oh, we got amazing heals coming in. Nostalgia and Kuna are able to get some little picks on the side. And we have Kuna playing, just a little bit up more aggressive, looking if he can find that soldier. And do we get a pick? No, gonna retreat back just a little. Don't wanna get too caught. It looks like Daytona State is going to stay a little bit pushed up on this corner. They do not want to let St. Louis in even a little bit. They want to keep what they've got. Now it is even. It is just now even. But it looks like St. Louis is going to push in. We see the trap out from Daytona State, but does not get anywhere in the bag here. But Kuna is able to just get some really nice picks and clean up. We see amazing picks from Kuna here, really carrying that fight and just doing the damage that the team really needed. Even losing that Malga with the trap, it was able to buy time for Daytona State. It looks like St. Louis will have maybe one more good push, and they're going in with 2, could be 3 ultimates if Marissa really farms that last second. And we see Kitsune out early from Daytona State because they are trying to hold down that point. Kiriko is very low, and Arissa's going to play super aggressive to try to get that. But it's an amazing pick from Nostalgia on both the Juno and the Soldier, and a third kill on, oh my goodness, on the Arissa. An amazing ult from Venture on Nostalgia on Venture, excuse me, to finish out that round. I feel like that definitely started off a little bit sketchy. Could have gone either way, but Daytona State was able to not only even it out, but really hold up on that corner, play a little bit more aggressive, and Kuna and Nostalgia were just doing the damage necessary.
Keep in sight. I'll have us in and out in no time.
And Looks like the team is playing around their changes. Nostalgia typically on support, but is doing a little DPS action as Marcy is on support today. So the team is having to adjust quickly with what they're used to, but that's okay. Doing an amazing job. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Looks like both teams are having this little face-off over here. We've switched off the Orisa onto Reinhardt. And an early wall out to try to delay that fight. Ryan is in this room. Ooh, does he get the pick? Barely, just barely, no. Amazing pin. Going to keep pushing forward, but we're slept. Oh my goodness. The battle. Ooh, which Ana is better here? We got Kuna on the off angle here, just going for some headshots. Gets that mace super low, but we see really good util and heals from their Kiriko. Both teams have moved and migrated towards the point now, trying to just get that first pick. And Kuna gets an amazing pick, but we see it. Oh my goodness. Luke ETM with the pin. Right off the map you go. Now it's just who can really even out the fight, and looks like Daytona State has capped the point, but Ryan is trying to contest that. It looks like Daytona State is up. We're trying to retreat St. Louis, but just a stagger that's going to really make it hard for St. Louis to regroup and push, as they are all sitting here idly by, waiting for their beloved tank. It looks like Daytona State, Kuna might be going for some off angle for, to get a couple staggers going here. I like the Bob going in to try to like hold back that push and everything as they were waiting for the Reinhardt. Huge shatter on point, but nobody is there to follow it up. And we see just cleanup kills from Daytona State. The push seemed a little bit staggered. Maybe if they came in all at once and coordinated those ultimates, it could have been a little bit more effective. But now St. Louis is coming in as a team of 5, so it's going to be easier for them to push. Early anti there on Mauga, but Ryan's pinning in very low. Do we have the heals off on him? Oh my goodness. The pressure from Daytona State was enough to just finish him off, which is going to again make the push for St. Louis a little bit more challenging. And we see this little bit of a face-off between Vump and Kuna trying to get the first pick. Big sleep on Kuna, but Mauga is going to try to come and take some of that damage to try to divert that from Squishy Ash. And St. Louis is pushing up, just pushing right through, keeping it moving to the point. Trying to get that last second push, trying to deter, but Daytona State ultimately takes the win on that one. I feel like the staggering was really the death of St. Louis on that map, honestly. And if we saw more team fights as just 5, it would have been a little bit different, but got this amazing little Deadeye from Kuna. Okay, I see you. Little Deadeye moment. It was definitely, it was close for sure, and we did have, you know, the first map, excuse me, oh my gosh, I'm losing it. The first map we did see that St. Louis was able to cap first, and they got it up to almost 60% before Daytona State was even able to get in there and turn it back around. But I think the lack of a 5v5 fight really did it, because whether it was tanks picking each other off first or the DPS coming from the off angle and getting a quick pick on a support or on a DPS, it was never really a 5v5 push. So that definitely made it a lot more challenging for St. Louis, I feel, to push in, and the odds were not as coordinated as they could have been. But for either team, honestly, you never know. It's hard to judge sometimes when an ult can be like a round saving ult, because everyone wants to have the round saving ult, of course, and sometimes it can be. But We did see some really good plays from St. Louis's DPS, and even their support at times when their Reinhardt was super low. We saw extremely good use of the Kiriko util, of cleanse, of nade, everything like that. So it was a good game. It was a close game. It was just the matter of pushing S5. And with Overwatch, I feel like that is just the biggest thing. Staying together, playing together, getting 5 people to think as one. It's all about practice and practicing together, learning each other's playstyle, and learning how each player, honestly, like their preferences too. Like, what do they prefer? What do they like to do? How do they like to play? Because you can tell someone the right way to play, and sometimes the way that they like to play is almost like they will perform better than the right way because that's what they prefer. So, but yes, seeing Marcy in and not only Marcy subbing in and a new person playing on the team, but also Nostalgia switching from support to DPS, that's definitely throwing Daytona State off a little bit, but they're adjusting well. They are fine. But it looks like we're just swapping, banning, doing the normal between game thing, and waiting to see what map will be next. Yes, but as always, we've been seeing good plays through the game, and I feel like the first game it's always hard to tell how the rest of them will go because you never know. Is it like a fluke? Are people warming up? Did something happen? But I foresee the next game being interesting. Looks like we might go with Eichenwald here. One of my personal favorite maps, just because of the Reinhardt cinematic. I love the cinematics, and I feel like the Reinhardt cinematic is just so heartfelt. It's so emotional, you know? Like, I feel like I'm there. What is his catchphrase that he says? You know, die with honor, live with glory, something like that. I feel like I'm there. I have tears in my eyes just thinking about it. But yes, Eichenwald is definitely a top 3 map for me. And all right, we're heading into the map. It's game time. Yay!
Traveling to Eichenwald.
I wonder if St. Louis will stay on the Rhine here because we did see the Rhine previously, and if Daytona State is going. Honestly, I don't know because we did stay Mauga on the Koth, which made sense for that, but I wonder, will they choose Rhine? Are they loyal to the map? Just waiting to see. A little Sigma. Oh, you know, it did slip my mind that there was a Sigma here and there. Last map. Little Sigma versus Sigma action. This should be good, having a little mirror and seeing what that entails. DPS, we've got May Junkrat from St. Louis, and then a Pharah Widow. And I know Kuna on the Widow this season has had some pretty impressive plays, so definitely exciting to see. Always love watching a good Widow moment, you know. Very entertaining, very flashy, and Widow's one of those characters that can just completely turn around. We've got Daytona State pushing up around the corner, immediately just going into this Sigma 1v1 right in your face. Sasquatch is really low here, but we do have full shield and heals. We see a Junkrat playing with the May as well, pushing up from St. Louis, trying to hold that back. A little headshot there. And Sasquatch gets the first pick on their Junkrat, trying to really just make motion forward and move in. We've got Nostalgia kind of almost in the back line here, just doing damage to their support, and a huge pick on their Ilari. this is going to definitely make it easier for Daytona State to kind of move into the point, and we're already capping. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. They have capped the point just like that. We do see a swap here to the Reinhardt off of the Sigma. And we're going into this little fight here through the doors, waiting for this big door to open. Everyone's being kind of patient, letting their ults build. But do we see an early pick from Daytona State? Yes, Nostalgia is able to land that kill on their May. And then we see this, oh my goodness, another kill from Daytona State on the Junkrat here. Just really securing their ability to move the cart forward. We got the barrage out and a boop off the map from Nostalgia. Looking for maybe a few staggers here. Pushed super far, kind of close to their spawn. He can see the spawn doors. Do we see a bit of a stagger moment here? And we see Widow as well, looking to solidify that kill, but Marcy is able to finish that off. Kuna getting a kill on the Juno, and Daytona State is really just touching their spawn here. Honestly, they are not allowing them to move at all. Nostalgia with another nice little 2K. They're walking the cart and looking like they're going to cap point number 2 with 4 minutes to spare. And we've got another swap now to the Orisa to try to counter the Sigma just a bit. Pushing up into this room to try to make leeway, try to, you know, stunt this cart's movement, stunt this action and everything. Taking a small fight in the corridor is definitely going to be challenging for the Orisa against the Signal. We see some good damage coming in here from Nostalgia trying to contribute here. Kuna with a nice kill off. Oh my goodness, a little 2K. On the DPS, it looks like Daytona State is up right now. Continuing that forward momentum, just pushing back, pushing back. They know that they're up. They are going to continue to push. Orisa holding strong on this corner here, and their support. Honestly, we see a rush out from Daytona State and an Orbit trying to just move that car all the way in. Daytona State is putting everything in, but looks like St. Louis is able to get some amazing kills here. Daytona State is down right now. Orisa's going to take advantage of that, continue pushing, 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 trying to solidify that. And finally, St. Louis has been able to get their foot in the door and fight as a team. Just like last time, they were able to finally regroup, fight as a team, and stop the cart. Do we see maybe an Orisa all coming out here a little bit early? Doing just some poke damage on the squishies. Orisa's holding this doorway, trying to melt that shield down. Maybe trying to even get out any abilities before ult. But we've also got a potential signal. We see Orisa pushing up, and Kiriko is, ooh, almost off the map, but Orisa all is finally coming out here. We don't get anyone, but we do some good damage. There, St. Louis's Junkrat is able to get a pick off. Looks like Daytona State and St. Louis are even right now, trying to battle it out. We see Copy out from Daytona State on the Orisa. Just going back and forth still. One pick from each team. One team gets a pick, the other gets a pick. Sigma all out early here, able to make some leeway finally on that Orisa, who's really holding the front line and just doing damage, holding down the fort. Daytona State is able to now move that cart back up. And it looks like Orisa is back. She's going to push forward immediately. Definitely get on that cart, stop any forward momentum. They don't have any... They cannot lose anything here. The cart is too close to touch, and she's going to make sure we avoid a C9. But Nostalgia's able to get a pick, 2 picks off with Kuna as well, getting a third. That is going to do it for them. They're going to walk the cart right in. And amazing damage from Daytona State DPS there. Just really able to get some solo picks. But huge kudos out to Luke from St. Louis for really holding the front line the whole time. We saw the Orisa on the front line really just trying to stop any forward motion, trying to even flank at one point and get some people off the map, the all in the flank-ish area, just trying to stop Daytona State's push at whatever cost it takes. Luke was in there. He said, you're not moving this car. But it looks like now on attack we've got St. Louis on the Rhine. We're sticking tried and true to the Juno, and Daytona State is going to match that with a Rhine of their own. Always love a good Rhine matchup, honestly. I feel like there's nothing better than a good little Rhine mirror, you know? Like, it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. And on the Reinhardt map, couldn't get any more Reinhardt-y. DPS lineup, we do have the Cass match, and we're sticking with the Junkrat, which I felt was pretty effective last round. Fire strikes out early here. Waiting to move up on this corner, trying to get an early pick, doing some damage. We're going to use these Juno movement abilities to really just go in quickly. Oh my goodness, huge fire strike from Daytona State. Reinhardt able to get a 2K in Kuna, getting a third. St. Louis is going to back off just a little bit and try to get out with what they have. They don't want to stagger. They want to stay as 5, but Kuna's going to be playing really aggressive here, trying to get that Reinhardt. They don't quite get the pick on him, but he is still low HP. Kuna as well, really low, and they're able to pick Kuna off. Daytona State now is down. It's going to be a little bit harder for them to hold this choke, but we do have a big, hopefully big shatter coming from Daytona State's Reinhardt. Ooh, pinned back. Oh my goodness. St. Louis is able to get a pick on the Reinhardt. It's looking grim for Daytona State holding this point. St. Louis is able to finally make a little bit of leeway and cap the point. Do we cap fully? Yes, we do. St. Louis caps the point. And they're going to try to clean up any... Looks like Nostalgia is in the back line here. Looks like Daytona State's Rhine is going to hold this corner here while they are doing some trickery going on in the back line. A little bit of a stagger from Daytona State. Nostalgia. It will be harder for Daytona State to hold this choke as they are down 1 again. St. Louis is going to start pushing in. Do we see a little shatter coming out? Yes, we do. And we've got their Baptiste, but Daytona State Reinhardt does pay for it. And wasn't quite able to get anyone. Kuna not quite able to get anyone with that Deadeye. They're just going to await on this corner. St. Louis really using their forward momentum, staggering Daytona State at any time possible. With the shatter, who gets Kuna? Are we able to solidify a kill off that? Yes. Still Reinhardt just pushing up. Nostalgia's able to return the favor on that kill. It looks like both teams are relatively even here. We see a big freeze coming out from Daytona State. Do we make it out on Luke? Ooh, he's backing, he's shield hopping. Amazing heals from Juno here to try to get him out. And it looks like he is able to finally fully retreat. Amazing heals from Rune there. Both teams are going to regroup now and finally take a fight as 5, but it looks like St. Louis does have a little bit of an alt advantage here with 3, almost possibly 4 by the time they interact. Ults coming up. It looks like we might be on St. Louis taking the castle approach here, trying to go around the back way. They are scheming and planning something big. They've got something up their sleeve, but Daytona State's Reinhardt is pushing up on Castle, trying to stop this push any means possible. A big pin from Sasquatch on the Reinhardt, and Cobra able to get a kill on the Rhine as well, but we have to back here. Luca's able to get a kill on the Marcy, but Sasquatch is continuing to push forward, trying to stop this push. Maybe. Oh my goodness! And Tyre comes in, but we see Deadeye from Kuna. Kuna is holding down the fort. He does not want these people pushing forward. But Luke is able to finish that off, and it looks like St. Louis will be the victor of this little interaction here. Craziness going on, people fighting in the high ground, in the low ground. But it looks like the castle approach did prove to be somewhat effective there. Now Daytona State is set up camp on the high ground. They are holding it down. They do not want to give that up. Do we see a shatter coming out here possibly soon from Sasquatch? Amazing kill on the Baptiste here, swinging, both Ryan swinging. Looking to just finish up that Ryan. It looks like Daytona State is now back in control of the cart. And they are not going to let any push like that happen on their high ground again. But we see somebody is sneaking around here. Oh, and we're found by Kuna. Amazing shots are landing. Nock is able to kind of retreat back there, but after a little bit of menacing. It looks like all the while he is back there poking the team, poking and prodding, St. Louis is able to move the cart. We see a big shatter out from St. Louis as well that has Ryan on the ground. Does Daytona State return the favor? They have Rush out. They're pushing forward. Oh my goodness, amazing picks from Daytona State. And Kuna trying to just get the finalized kill. Cleaning up these staggers there. Both teams are regrouping. St. Louis getting ready to go in and take another fight, but possibly waiting on their fifth here. We see Deadeye out from Kuna again, not quite able to get anyone, but holding St. Louis back in that area. Amazing wall from Nostalgia, able to wall off some of the party. And Nostalgia able to land a kill, and Sasquatch getting a nice little 2K here. And Kuna just backing that Rhine up and finalizing that kill as well. And it looks like Daytona State is going to be the victor of this fight as well. Oh my goodness, that was definitely getting close there. Ooh-wee. It looks like Daytona State. I didn't know what it could have gone either way in the last couple of fights there. I was kind of waiting to see what was going to happen because it seemed like every other fight St. Louis was winning and then Daytona State was winning and just vice versa. So that was definitely an interesting fight to watch there. A lot of interesting ults from either team. Definitely a lot of Rhine 1v1 action going on. Very intensely, might I add. But, you know, at the end of the day, Daytona State took the final match. It was definitely getting intense there at the end. Like I said, I was feeling like it really could have gone either way. But I feel like, again, for both teams, it was a matter of fighting S5 and preventing that staggering, because once you get that first entry pick when you start the fight, if you get an entry pick kind of early, you know, and you fight it out and whatever and both teams lose, then when everyone's responding, that entry pick from the first fight is going to spawn first, and then they're going to go right in. And especially if that's the tank dying first and then coming in without everybody, it's going to set the team off and be a lot more challenging to kind of get back in the groove and wait to BS5. And, you know, there's always the factor of trying to cap with as much time as possible, and especially in an overtime moment, you know, like somebody has to touch, all that kind of stuff, all things to consider. But overall, I think that was definitely a really fun map to watch. I loved the Ryan matchup, of course, as always, and it was good. It was good. I have nothing else to say. The gears are turning, but nothing's coming out. It was fun to watch. Good shots, extremely good shots from Kuna, Nostalgia, Knock, and Bump. Extremely good heals, especially I was seeing their Juno really come out the cut, and a lot of moments where I was thinking like, oh, this person's not going to live, this person's not going to make it. Then of course Juno, with the speed and the torpedoes and just all of it, the passive, not passive healing, but the Juno really pulled through. Some really good immortality lamps there too. Just everything as always. So really good heals there. Wall daytime. Such a fun map to be on. It's just so homey. But yes, I feel like the alt usage too was. It was there at times we did see a few alts that were missing, but it was from both teams. So I feel like it canceled out, But the shatter I feel like was the big like push or pull for that map. Which Ryan is going to shatter first? Which Ryan is going to? How are they going to shatter? Are they flanking? Are they going to use it with another ult? That kind of thing. And we did see a lot of rush into shatter, which I feel like is usually pretty effective because you can get the team going, like rush is a really good initiating fight. But a lot of times shatter ends up being the initiating all into the fight because both teams go into the fight just wondering like, when are you going to shatter? But it looks like for our third map of the day, we are going to go right into Hollywood. Or, oh my gosh, Route 66. That is not Hollywood. What am I saying? Right into Route 66. Another one. I feel like I say every map is my favorite, but Route 66, again, it just has that authentic feel. Especially because we've seen it in the cinematics. Or at least I have seen it in the cinematics. And any map that is in a cinematic, I just have a little bit of a bias to. I have a preference toward it. Like, I don't know. It's got that charm, that loving charm of a cinematic map. But I also just prefer payload maps, so maybe that is my secret bias. Other than cinematic, of course. Any map that's been in a cinematic, I'm going to like. But I don't know. Route 66. I like the nighttime. It's charming. Any map too that has like its evening mode or evening daylight setting, whatever. It's just got that charm. Anyway, enough about the maps. It looks like we've got Daytona State going in with the Sigma, which is a pretty common pick for this map. Going to probably set up here on the high ground and play a little bit more pokey. We've got Torbjorn to kind of assist with that. Kuna is actually going to be going in on the Reaper, which I personally have not seen in a minute. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm surprised there's no Widowmaker on this map. Then we've got St. Louis going in on Diva. Playing a little bit more divey comp. We've got Knock on the Widowmaker. In for a couple picks, maybe trying to get an entry pick here. We've got St. Louis really pushing up, being definitely a lot more aggressive. Then we've seen Diva trying to get a pick off the high ground somewhere, looking around for anybody that is on high ground if they might be able to get a quick pick on Nostalgia with an amazing kill on the Widowmaker early, and Sasquatch able to get a kill on the soldier there. We see Kuna kind of pushing up farther, trying to keep pressure on them, hold them back, maybe even get a little staggered pick. And a little fake out Telly, doing some sneaky business back here. Diva pushing up, trying to make way for the team, get the team in, possibly diving that high ground, going in on the Torbjorn, maybe kill on Nostalgia there. Kuna is able to get a flanky kill back there and start cleaning up the team. They did not expect him back there, but Diva is kind of cleaning up here. She is making way for St. Louis. We see Sigma kind of stuck out here, but it looks like St. Louis was able to clean out Daytona State, and they are going to start moving that cart up early. We've got a Diva bomb that might also delay the push here. Just going to go ahead and get that turret without any further damage from the team. Do we see maybe an early bomb after the Sigma shield? Possibly. Daytona State is definitely going to rush in here. Might also use an early grab. Here it is in Nostalgia, able to get a nice little 2K off that. The Diva is also going to get DMAC, but she's going to use bomb and no, unsuccessful bomb, but we did keep the mech, so in that way it was a success. St. Louis still moving up that cart. It's still pretty even here, but it looks like Daytona State ultimately is going to push them back, and they were able to DMAC 2K from the Kuna here. And do we see three? Do we see three? Yes, we see a third kill from Kuna as well. Perhaps four even. Another little fake out TP. That is his signature move, it seems, on Reaper. Able to remain here in the back line and try. They have not caught on to his little trickery yet. Diva is getting DMAC'd early again, and do we see a, oh my goodness, little baby Diva able to get Kuna out of this match. Sigma holding the high ground here, trying to keep St. Louis at bay just a little bit and prevent them from pushing up, but Diva is able to remech, so she's going to start coming in strong here. Looks like both teams are building ults, but St. Louis does have a little bit of an ult advantage. They do have some ults to play with this match, with Diva quickly building another bomb as well. But Diva is out of mech again. Kuna able to get a 2K here, and we see a little bit of fighting going on back here in the way back. Genji pushing forward and really applying pressure onto the squishies here, with Cobra able to land a kill on the soldier. The backline holding itself. They do not need no DPS. And we see the the orbit out early from Juno to try to save the team, because it looks like St. Louis still has that momentum going up, but they are in overtime. They're not going to give up the point. And Daytona State is just falling back just a little bit because they are down, waiting to regroup as 5 and to kind of re-engage as 5 to try to delay that cart from capping. But it looks like, oh my goodness, Kuna on point, able to get one, Cobra able to get one as well, but St. Louis is still just walking that cart in, finally. Ultimately going to cap, and if needed they could have possibly Diva bombed that there, but it was not necessary. They were able to cap them out. It looks like Daytona State is going to now match the Diva, and we've made swaps as well in Daytona State to venture from Nostalgia. Switch up the playstyle just a little bit, be a little bit more mobile here, trying to get an early pick on the Genji, but oh my goodness, they tried to DM, almost successful, but just too much coming in from every direction. D.Va is not able to get her Genji out. And we see St. Louis still trying to push forward on the D.Va, trying to get a pick here. She's going to duck in for the Mega and then retreat for heals. And Daytona State is going to continue to push here, trying to delay that cart from moving at all. Kuna is pushed up forward quite a bit, trying to get some kind of stagger, some kind of pick, but having to retreat because they are just fighting heavily together as one. And we see Genji able to get one, but Nostalgia is returning the favor. D.Va on St. Louis again getting another pick there, just up a little bit right now, but Kuna again making it even. It could go either way right now. It looks like Daytona State is going to retreat and St. Louis is going to be the ones moving the cart here. With Genji fighting high ground and the soldier coming to return, looks like Kiriko is glued to that cart. She is going to make sure it is moving. Daytona State is now back going in big window to try to kind of initiate this fight. They've got a couple more ults here that will prove useful to them, but Marcy's able to get a pick. They're able to demech that D.Va, so ults will not be necessary. Oh, and Kuna going off with the Death Blossom. Do we get the kill? Yes, on the Genji. Marcy is able to land a couple killing blows, and we see a sneaky little soldier back here. What are you doing, buddy? Another stagger on St. Louis's end, and Daytona State is able to complete round one. There was a lot going on that whole time. That was getting intense at times. It really was going both. Again, I had no idea how it was going to turn out until the end because it was going either way each time. St. Louis was put into overtime the first time, but Daytona State was able to keep pushing and keep pushing. That was intense though. We saw a lot of really good ultimates coming out, and I feel like the D.Va mirror was good, but the changes on DPS were ultimately what did it for Daytona State and how they were able to hold a little bit better than before. Now it looks like we've got
They have this coming, so let's give it to them.
Nostalgia on the Widowmaker, which again, usually a Kuna thing, but he is on his Reaper game today. And we've got a little bit of a matchup with Knock also on the Widow, so it's really going to be a, not Widow 1v1, but which Widow can pick each other off first. That's usually how it ends up going. Daytona State's Nostalgia is going to grapple to high ground, gets eyes on their Widow as well as not getting eyes on Daytona State's. Both Widows just being cautious and aware of each other. Perhaps asking the team, ping their Widow, ping their Widow. We do see Monkey going in trying to aid the Widowmakers here, especially with Daytona State. Perhaps trying to put some pressure on them. And, ooh, a nice shot from Knock, but just not enough to get the killing blow. We see a grapple from Nostalgia trying to get a pick off the high ground. One of their squishies, Daytona State's Monkey is going to jump right in. Nostalgia gets a pick on their Widow, and we've got great pressure from Daytona State's Monkey on high ground. Kuna able to pick off St. Louis's support here. Kuna again cleaning up, finishing off a Nostalgia. Whew, DPS heavy fight. Nostalgia and Kuna just going back and forth with the picks. We see Kuna here trying to get a little bit of a stagger on the Tracer, who has used recall, and oh my goodness, nice stagger from Kuna. He is going to continue to look for more, but we've got a little bit of an Orisa on our tail. Able to TP to high ground to safety, just temporarily. Nice shot from Nostalgia here, going for another on their Juno. Monkey looking to go in. Orisa pushing up forward a lot, really putting pressure on their Monkey and able to get that blow. Orisa pushed up just a little bit too far, getting a little too selfish with that kill on that one, but Daytona State is able to push the cart in just a little bit more, and they will win this game.
No one can resist my
And it looks like Widow is trying to look for any early picks here with walls out as well, trying to keep an eye on what they're going to do, if they're going to be able to touch, but it does not look like they have a touch character. And there it is, Daytona State able to walk it in, and that is a wrap on Daytona State versus St. Louis. We see a nice little play of the game here from Luke. The Diva was definitely fun to watch. The Diva mirror on this game, or this map, excuse me. Definitely really fast paced, but again, the DPS swap was what did it for them. I feel like Daytona State really did do a good job with adapting to what they needed to adapt to here. Moving Nostalgia to the DPS and moving Marcy in as the substitute. It's always hard to substitute in anyone for any game, but especially for something as fast-paced as Overwatch, it's hard to fit someone in when you have 5 people who are supposed to be playing as 5 people, 1 brain. To put someone into that, it can definitely pose a challenge, but Daytona State was able to be successful with that. They were able to adapt to what they needed to adapt to. That was great to see. We did see a lot of really good pressure from St. Louis, though. A lot of amazing plays from their tank, especially DPS. Huge kudos to their support. I saw a lot of times where I was like, that person should have died, but St. Louis's supports were just the GOAT. But as always, thank you for watching an amazing game today. It was really close at a lot of times. It's fun when it's close. It's fun when you don't know which way it's going to go. But we appreciate your support so much here at Daytona State. And thank you. Yes, amazing game. And we'll see you in the next one.